I think that the lawyer for the voters who were trying to do so, I think he actually lost ground as he was going along. But I think it was going to be long odds from the get-go. But I don't think that that means that the argument itself was a total loss. I think there were some things that came out of it that actually may wind up having some long-term consequences, including, by the way, Donald Trump's lawyer saying that
yes.
Though January 6th was not an insurrection, in his words, the events were shameful, criminal, and violent. I think Donald Trump in some other courtrooms is going to be arguing that it was not criminal and violent.
Well, can we just zoom in on that for a second? Because that was clearly a very strategic choice, right, to make a series of concession in those arguments that in some ways allowed him to put 1-6 aside, because he knew it was not firm ground for him to be having 1-6 front and center. Do you think it was considered the way in which those remarks would then complicate some of these other legal cases?
Look, I think that, you know, to credit the lawyer for Donald Trump who argued the case today, you know, I think he gave ground to win the case in front of him. And, you know, I can understand that, right? He's got 9 justices looking at him today, and he figures we'll worry about tomorrow. That doesn't mean that tomorrow doesn't come, right? Tomorrow does come. But I think he made those concessions, whether it was playing this democracy card that may, frankly, come back to haunt him in some of the election cases that I and others litigate, or it is this violent point that, you know, Donald Trump has gone to a great length to say it was a peaceful gathering. But I think he felt like the way he wins the day today was to take the insurrection point off the table. And, you know, he did. You know, there were almost no questions from the court after that about whether or not it was an insurrection.